This week, a 14-year-old boy is stabbed in the face. Plus, police fatally shoot a man armed with a knife. And
they have a whole heroin community where people are shooting up in broad daylight.
The NYPD cracks down on quality of life issues. Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes across the 5 boroughs. We begin on a section of Ocean Parkway in Brooklyn, where a horrific car crash claimed the lives of a mother and 2 of her daughters. The woman accused in this deadly wreck faced a judge for the first time.
And Fox 5's Arthur Chan was inside the courtroom. He joins us live from Gravesend, where the crash happened. Arthur, what's the latest?
The latest here is that this memorial has grown, and the driver behind this scene in this neighborhood faced a judge for the first time in person since what happened out here. Even though she entered a not guilty plea, the judge ordered that she be held without bail. Now, it was on March 29th in this intersection of Ocean Parkway that a mother and her 3 children were crossing in the crosswalk in the middle of the day when that car slammed into them, killing the mother, her 2 daughters who are 8 and 5 years old, and also sending their 4-year-old son, her 4-year-old son, to the hospital in critical condition. We can now show you the face of the accused driver. It is 32-year-old Miriam Yarimi. She's now been charged with a 20-count indictment, which includes manslaughter in the 2nd degree and criminally negligent homicide. A records search shows her car was ticketed at least 99 times since late 2023, while Yarimi's arraignment was delayed until today because she underwent a psychiatric examination. The Brooklyn District Attorney, speaking after the arraignment, said the focus is on Yarimi driving nearly 70 miles an hour, which is double the speed limit, while running red lights before killing the mother and her 2 children.
What is her responsibility under the law, and can it be shielded by a psychiatric condition?
Well, it's clear. One thing is very clear. This car had many violations, right? Speeding tickets, running red light tickets. The vehicle has been ticketed so many times. The driver, the allegation, you heard it in court, has a suspended license as well. What's very clear is that she should not have been on the road that day.
Well, Yarimi's lawyer also had a lot to say, arguing that she should be released, claiming that this was her first offense, and because she has a daughter, she should be let go. Also saying that the press is inaccurately portraying his client.
The statements that have been made in the press about her being a scofflaw and having a number of traffic and moving violations, that is unfounded. I have seen no evidence to even suggest that she's ever been pulled over by the police and ticketed a single time.
Now, there's a lot to talk about here, including a TransAlt report today of drivers who have cars that have amassed hundreds of tickets and how they're red flags, but that the city and the state does not have a way to apply any sort of change in behavior to them. As for Yarimi, on the manslaughter charge, she faces 15 years for each of those counts. The judge pointing out today she could face 45 years in prison if convicted. She's going to be back in court on June 11th.
We now head to Astoria, Queens, where NYPD officers shot and killed an erratic man they said advanced toward them with a 14-inch knife.
The incident played out this morning, and now we're hearing that at one point the officers' tasers failed to operate. Let's get right out to the scene in Fox 5's Lisa Evers. Lisa, what are you hearing as of right now?
Well, Bianca, first of all, let me tell you exactly where we're at. We're at 31st Street and 30th Avenue here in Astoria, and it is a very busy subway station, a very busy area at all hours of the day and night. And this is one of New Yorkers' biggest fears, an unstable person with a weapon acting erratically. This time it happened right here in Astoria. Police say they received multiple calls from people saying that there was a man with a large knife who was going around threatening people about 6:20 this morning. Now, the NYPD says when they arrived on the scene, which is right here behind me, you can see they're still working it. It's very active. When they arrived on the scene, they tried to talk him down. He refused to drop the 14-inch knife. They tased him several times. The tasers appeared to have absolutely no effect, and he kept moving towards them and was fatally shot. As the detectives are working the scene, the NYPD is telling us the danger became known about 6:20 this morning when 911 calls poured in about a 61-year-old Asian man with a large knife threatening people. And NYPD Chief of Department John Schell says officers tried to contain the man who had previous incidents. There had been at least several incidents of similar behavior that brought the police. They tried to talk him down, and then, of course, the tasers failed to subdue him. But when he failed to drop the 14-inch knife and kept moving towards the cops, Chief Schell was quite clear about that. He says they shot the man in self-defense. Here's Chief Schell.
Anytime the NYPD interacts with someone in mental distress, we attempt to slow down and de-escalate the situation with the ultimate goal of getting the person the help they need. However, during fast-moving and hectic situations with an armed person, we are forced to defend ourselves.
Now, this comes on the day the NYPD kicks off its 2-month quality of life crimes pilot crackdown. It's focused in 5 precincts to address New Yorkers' complaints about issues like homeless encampments, illegal garbage dumping, open-air prostitution, drug use, and panhandling, which police say has generated a huge rise, all of these things, in 311 calls in recent years. The New York Civil Liberties Union says it's a return to zero-tolerance, harsh police tactics. But the mayor and police commissioner insist they are trying to do what they can to make the city more livable. Now, right now, you can see detectives are here on this scene. This is a larger than usual contingent of crime scene detectives and units that are here investigating this. That's because there will also be an additional investigation by what the NYPD calls its force investigation unit that gets involved anytime there is a police shooting. As for the justifiability of this entire incident, Chief Schell says that the video surveillance that they have will show that the officers did what they needed to do in order to defend themselves in a life-threatening situation.
Down in Times Square, a 14-year-old boy was stabbed in the face. This happened just after a deadly bodega stabbing in Inwood left 1 man dead and 2 others injured. These 2 separate incidents occurred less than 2 hours apart.
Concerns this morning after a series of stabbings across Manhattan yesterday, with police continuing to search for those responsible.
That's right. Violence broke out at an Inwood bodega. That's where 3 people were stabbed, and then a harrowing incident in Midtown. That's where a young teen was stabbed in the face. That's also where we go right now to find Good Day's Briella Tomasetti. She is live in Midtown with the latest on this disturbing trend. Briella, good morning.
Yeah, Tashani and Robert, still a lot of questions surrounding this investigation. It's unclear, for example, right now if that 14-year-old boy knew his attackers or if it was random. We do know, though, that police this morning are looking for 2 suspects, both last seen wearing red and black hooded sweatshirts with ski masks on. We know this all went down, according to investigators, at 7 o'clock last night on the sidewalk between 43rd and 44th Street and 8th Avenue. That teenage boy was stabbed just above the left eye. He was initially taken to Bellevue Hospital in critical condition, but has since been stabilized. Investigators cordoned off the area with crime scene tape as they searched for evidence, but so far no arrests have been made. Less than 2 hours earlier, police responded to a fatal stabbing in Inwood involving 3 people. It happened at 5:30 yesterday inside a bodega at West 212th Street and Broadway. Investigators say a 20-year-old man was slashed in the neck and taken to Harlem Hospital in stable condition. The 24-year-old man was also stabbed in the neck. He later died at the hospital. A third person, 21 years of age, was stabbed in the hand and back. He was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Those 3 men were reportedly involved in a dispute inside the bodega before the violence broke out. Sources telling us one of the 2 survivors is now under arrest. Here's what neighbors had to say.
I'm very sad to understand this is still continuing in the neighborhood. It's been a long time this has been happening.
I've never seen nothing like this. And now I'm terrified to even walk through here with my children.
And according to NYPD data, in the first quarter of 2025, the city recorded its fewest number of shootings since 1994. But last year, we saw the highest number of felony assaults in nearly 2.5 decades.
Up in the South Bronx, an open-air drug market is plaguing one community. In response to this and other issues, the NYPD has launched a new quality of life initiative all over the city, targeting low-level offenses, including open drug use, panhandling, illegal parking, and more.
Today, the NYPD kicks off its quality of life crackdown.
All right, as part of the pilot program, 5 city police precincts will directly address complaints about everything from drug use to panhandling. Fox 5's Arthur Chen is in the Bronx right now to let us know what's being done there. Arthur.
Steve, Natasha, at the core of this are certain surveys that we follow, including from groups that like the Citizens Budget Commission. They find that the number of New Yorkers who say their quality of life is decent has been plummeting and plummeting dramatically. Now, in order to address that, as of today, the city is deploying NYPD units that focus on quality of life infractions to different boroughs and different precincts. Now, here in this section of the Bronx, the Melrose section of the Bronx, where the 40th Precinct Station House is, we ourselves today have witnessed the problems that they are targeting, including homelessness, open drug use, e-bikes zooming on the curves, and illegal parking and ghost plates. Now, this is one of the 5 police precincts, as you mentioned. There is also a housing unit that's getting it. They're in boroughs including Manhattan, Queens, here in the Bronx, and also in Brooklyn. Now, over the past few months, this neighborhood, we've been up to it multiple times specifically for some of these things, including an open-air drug market that's just 2 blocks west of where we stand right now, reporting on rampant drug use out in the open, and with children walking by. We have addicts sprawled out on the street and on all hours, during all hours of the day. Now, we should point out, we've talked to a lot of people while we've been up here, and not a single person has told us that their quality of life is acceptable. They say this is a neighborhood in desperate need of help.
But it's drugs that you haven't even heard of that people are doing. If you were to look straight down here, they have a whole heroin community where people are shooting up in broad daylight regular. Then if you go this way, it's people smoking crack. People smoking crack right in front of the building that I actually work at.
But it's hard to come in every day to work, and you got to deal with removing people who are extremely intoxicated. You got to move them out of the areas to start, to go into just the work to make money. It's very hard to even have things like this happen.
Now, here's the dynamic at work here. While crime stats at the NYPD show that crime is moving in the right direction, that is that it's going down, the perception of New Yorkers is that it's still very unsafe. And officials say in recognizing that, they are deploying these quality of life units, hopefully by addressing some of these issues, including panhandling, homelessness, drug addiction, that they can turn the tide on that perception.
And finally, we end in federal court in Lower Manhattan, where disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs pleaded not guilty to new sex trafficking charges, filed just 1 month before his federal trial is set to begin.
Fox 5's Lisa Evers was inside the courtroom. Lisa, what can you tell us?
Well, Natasha, we're here outside federal court where this afternoon Sean Diddy Combs pleaded not guilty to the expanded criminal indictment, charging that he used his business empire for criminal activities for nearly 20 years. The feds say that's what he's guilty of, but his defense team insists it was all consensual sex. Now, I've got to tell you that Diddy walked into the courtroom with a big smile and a new look, along with a new attitude, as he was brought into the 26th floor courtroom at 500 Pearl. His hair has turned white, and he had a haircut and trimmed goatee. He appeared relaxed throughout the proceeding, acting like he did not have a care in the world. But nothing could be further from the truth. This superseding indictment brings the total number of sex trafficking and racketeering criminal charges he is facing to a total of 5. A conviction on even a couple of the counts could keep him behind bars for decades. His lawyers told the judge that due to tens of thousands of new emails connected to the latest charges, they may need a 2-week postponement to the start of the trial, which is currently scheduled for May 5th. Now, Judge Arun Subramanian told the court that this case is a freight train headed toward trial and gave the defense team 48 hours to file a formal request to delay the start of the trial by 2 weeks. So that decision will be coming this week if, in fact, they do file that application. But regardless, they'll all be back here in court on Friday to iron out any other pretrial issues that remain.
That's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.